So one of the really, really negative frequencies that you can have, and we're now saturated with it, are 5G and basically all EMFs. They're not natural frequencies. And we realized that, and we did studies on it, when you put a glass of water next to just a Wi-Fi router, water goes deep into chaos. And we didn't even kind of stop there. Again, since we did this brainwave study, we wanted to see, okay, what happens with people when they talk on the cell phone and their brainwaves. And lo and behold, brainwaves, they go out of whack. But then we tested Analemma water with it. We kind of, we just wanted to see what's going to happen. We gave some people regular water and some people Analemma water. They didn't know which water they were drinking. And we monitored their brainwaves in QEEG. It has extraordinary fast effect. Almost as soon as you take a sip of Analemma water, instant cooling effect on the brainwaves. And in a very short period of time, everything comes back to green. While with other people who drank regular water, that negative effect persisted for much longer period of time. So that's one way of proving, okay, something really happens here. It's very hard to do study in particular with that effect. We could, again, use maybe biophoton emissions or something to kind of really, if you put negative kind of statement on it, what would happen?
Mario, tell us about the ATP and the science with the structure of the analemma.
How we actually came about it, we from the biophoton perspective, we knew that vitality of biological systems grow exponentially when you water plants with Analemma water. We wanted to see what happens on a human level, and we were thinking, how can we measure the vitality of a human being? So we came to ATP. Study, adenosine triphosphate, which is the primary energy currency of the cell. So every biochemical reaction, every heartbeat, every breath depends on ATP. So what we did a double-blind placebo-controlled study where we measured ATP levels in humans, the actual mitochondrial energy of our bodies. So what we did, we took a snapshot of ATP levels in humans, in participants in the study. Then they drank 1.5 liters of Analemma water per day without changing anything else in the world. They didn't change their diets, they didn't change their exercise regime, they didn't change anything. And then after 2 months, we took another snapshot to see what happened. And we saw 20% rise in overall mitochondrial energy of the body over the placebo. If you count in the placebo, which was 7%, it's almost 1/3. Your entire energy of your body actually increased by almost 1/3. And we're not talking about Red Bull energy here. We're talking about actual energy of the body. If you give body just a couple of percent more of energy, it will do magic with it. It will repair itself in remarkable ways. So this was truly groundbreaking for us. And scientists now agree that key cause of cellular aging is decline in mitochondrial function. And we actually proved with this study that mitochondrial function rises significantly just by drinking the water, which really is remarkable.
It's remarkable.
And usually ATP is always, is connected to kind of muscle contraction, athletes, and It's definitely important there. But people don't realize that the biggest spender of ATP in our body is actually our brains. For one neuron to send an impulse to a neighboring cell, it needs to hydrolyze 1 billion ATP molecules, and there are billions of neurons. So 25% of all of our energy goes to maintaining brain. And that's why people with high ATP levels always have much higher cognitive performance. So it has that, amongst all other effects, it has a profound effect. And also one other thing, when we proved that mitochondrial function of the body increases significantly, what is the key thing that our mitochondria are doing? They're actually transferring fats and sugar, which are primary fuel, into energy. So if that system in and of itself works and functions great, that has profound effect on basically any area of our health. So this was a truly groundbreaking study.
It's amazing that we live in a time, and also with your background, right? Like you said, sometimes the path, you just realize why you were where you were because it helped you be where you are
Yeah,
now. It's amazing that you had that background because it gave you the eye and it gave you the understanding of what tests to look for, what scientific rigor actually applies to this product. And honestly, so that people can feel good. If they have low ATP, they're not going to feel good. They're not going to be able to perform athletically. And I love that you talked about the hunger of the brain. You know what's happening, like the brain is a very ATP driven part of our self. Yeah, when my brain isn't functioning well, like when I'm not getting enough sleep, I feel it. So I wonder, and
yeah.
this is kind of a sidebar, I wonder if you've done any sleep studies, and if you haven't, that might be something really fascinating for the future to figure out, after a month of time, if someone's drinking only the Analemma structured water, could that impact their sleep? Maybe using the Aura ring or something.
For sure, because we had many people kind of reporting it, so it would be kind of cool because I love the whole science thing. I'm kind of geeky that way. I love to do it by the book.
Yeah.
Double blind, placebo controlled, everything by the book. I actually haven't considered it up until now because we have so many balls in the air. To be honest, we're doing so many studies. And we can only do as much at a time, but it's actually a very good idea. I love it. We will definitely look into that.
Yes, we all need.
I have to mention the other also double-blind placebo-controlled study that we did on the dysbiosis index of the microbiome. So in the last couple of decades, science has kind of connected the state of our microbiome to basically any area. We're talking about immune health, cardiovascular health, neurological health. Basically, any area of human health is connected to the state of our microbiome. So we wanted to see what's going to happen with human microbiome when people drink this water. So we did a double-blind, placebo-controlled study where we took a snapshot of people's microbiome. Then they drank 1.5 liters of Analemma water without, again, changing anything else in their. Didn't change their diets, their exercise regime, everything else stayed the same. And then at the end of the study, we took another snapshot and we had 17% increase on the dysbiosis index of the microbiome over the placebo. So dysbiosis index actually describes the degree of deviation within the microbiome, taking into account all the different bacteriophylla and species and their weighing factor. This has profound effect on your entire biology. People usually nowadays talk about serotonin and how important it is for our mood. But most people aren't aware that 95% of our serotonin is being created by our microbiome in our gut.
Yeah, exactly.
And is being delivered through the gut-brain axis to our brain. How you feel, how you see the world depends on the state of your microbiome. So microbiome is hugely important. So much so that we're actually now going to do a much deeper dive. We're going to do a DNA sequencing of an entire microbiome because science has pinpointed now the exact pathway by which certain species of bacteria has an effect on any area of health. So we're doing the whole map in context of Analemma water. How? And we're actually not just going to do double-blind placebo-controlled. It's going to be a crossover study because every single microbiome is unique. So the only way to really know what happens is that people are going to be using placebo, and they're going to be a washout period, and then they're going to use Analemma water, and then we're going to compare the data, and they're not going to know at which time they're using which. So this is the golden standard of the study, and then you can actually see the impact. Because when you compare one microbiome to the other, which we did, and we had good results. But we're kind of hoping, we're going to see what's going to happen, that we're going to have much more dramatic results when we're actually looking at one single microbiome. And of course, it's going to be a larger study, so there are going to be many participants in it.
Check out some of the videos on this screen that are perfectly curated based on the video you just saw. Make sure you follow me, and I'll see you in the next video.